Have I heard about ShxtsnGigs?
Yeah.
Have I heard about ShxtsnGigs?
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she just...
Wait,
she
what is the black girlfriend
Oh,
effect?
I saw this.
Blow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
Glows the fuck up.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time.
Pause.
That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Okay. First of all, that cackle was too loud. It wasn't necessary. Your head is going back for that joke? Okay, play. Welcome to Sophie's Oddest Topics of the Week. You know what I get? You get what I mean? Like hottest, but oddest. Don't worry, I'm going to make it stick. I'm going to try to find a really cool intro for this one.
Bro, white guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a beard
because
there's more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of.
That's hilarious.
I think the black girlfriend effect.
If you're
It
watching
might be
on
a
audio.
protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
First of all, I want to say it looks like Andrew Schultz is the only white man in the room.
Yes.
And his laugh is not the loudest, which says a lot to me about this entire conversation. So when I watched the ShxtsnGigs thing, mind you, love ShxtsnGigs, I take that back. Let me explain.
You do though.
I don't.
No, you did.
I didn't.
Wait, really?
No. I've never watched a full episode.
Right.
But I love how hard they've worked. I'll say that. Like, I don't know them personally. I was a fan of, to see two black men sell out a whole stadium is incredible. Like, I want to give them the props for that. To see how they've changed podcast culture, especially from the UK coming out here, like touring in America, that's incredible. Now, the US market versus the UK market, especially with entertainment, is so dicey. It's so dicey. And so my questions when I saw this was, who told them to go on Andrew Schultz?
Right.
First of all, who in their right mind said that? Second, how much they understand of American politics, especially society's ideas of black women, enough for them to go on that podcast and cackle the way they cackled, right? And I also say the third thing, as a creator, I understand uncomfortable situations. I'll give you an example. The other day, I wasn't on a date, but I went out with a white man. We're talking, we're having fun. And then we were sitting across, and this maybe will get me canceled too, I don't know. But he was sitting across from me and he was like, I'm going to order a coffee. And it was like, I'm going to order a coffee like I like my black women, black and bitter. And I'm telling you, let me cancel myself right now. When he said that, I did not know what to say. In fact, transparently, I laughed. I was like, ah, and then I was like, wait, did you just say that? And he looked at me, and I promise you, Sophie of a year ago might not have said, did you just say that? To avoid the conflict, the interaction that would have brought on, because that was a long-time relationship that I wanted to keep.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for him, even though he made me uncomfortable. And it's something that I've learned that as a black person in America, you sometimes want to do. You find yourself unconsciously doing that. You're not radical in that way, right? You're just like, I'd rather not just engage in this because you don't know better. I'm going to move on from it. And I remember when he said that, I deadass thought of the ShxtsnGigs thing, and I said, oh, bitch, you got to talk. And then subconsciously, I was like, did you just say that? He's like, nah, it was a joke. I said that was a stupid joke. And the entirety of dinner was messed up, and we left, and I was like, that's weird, right? That to me is a hard dynamic. So actually, I'm not making excuses for them. I am genuinely saying from my perspective, when I heard that, I wouldn't say I understood, but I've been in that situation where I even felt like, oof, to be that person who's going to be like, shut up, sit down. It takes a lot of balls. And I wish they had balls because they act like they do. I wish they had the balls in that instance to stand up for black women in that situation. And they didn't. Matter of fact, they didn't. And then the apology video they did afterwards just didn't feel sincere. But it was a normal apology. Does that make sense? Like when I listened to everything they said, they basically were like, it was uncomfortable for us. We're laughing. We're this, we're that. Like, we're sorry. Like, we didn't mean it. You want to play it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
Right, before we get into today's episode, quick PSA.
Pause.
Quick.
No, it's the fact that their heads are down. Their hands are like tucked in together. As you could tell, they're sweating. Yeah, okay.
Acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. But we just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And yeah, there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women.
Yep.
And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke.
Okay. So I watched the apology. Donald, what do you think?
So this is the thing.
As a man, as a black man,
Okay.
tell me.
I think like a lot of these cancellations and things that happen, are great because they help highlight.
I don't think cancel culture is good.
No, it's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. But they help highlight certain problems.
Yeah.
Because these are two men who live in the UK.
Yes.
And anybody who consumes UK content,
Yes.
they're very, very extreme.
Yes.
Like the British humor is borderline like crazy.
Okay.
And when you take that and you bring that to America, the American audience is extremely aware
Sensitive.
and sensitive.
Yeah.
And then you connect that with going on a podcast like Andrew Schultz with a comedian who is
Known for the extremity.
right. He's a racist white man.
Yes.
He's a white man. Like, and he's on a
Is he
podcast.
I thought he was the one who actually did a good job of like interacting with different audiences. Maybe just not the black audience, right? Because I've seen him and I've seen his stand-up. And I always respected how he mingled language and culture.
But that's the problem, right? The jokes that he's making,
Yeah.
they're not things that like, he's not trying to be racist.
Yeah.
Because he actually understands the problem. He understands that's why that's a bad joke.
That's why I'm like, that's where my frustration comes in, even with the conversation. Because did you see he reacted to their apology?
Yes.
And that's why I'm telling you that you just have to be crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't know why I'm bringing her into this, but Ekane is a good example of that. Ekane is this TikToker who has 1,000 million followers. I don't know how many followers she has right now. And she talks about how when the masses are coming for you, how you respond dictates how you're treated, right?
Right.
Because with the shits and gigs thing, own that shit. We fucked up. Not necessarily like with your tails behind you, but own that shit. You fucked up. We laughed. It was uncomfortable, or we laughed anyways. We're sorry. We fucked up. Let's make it up to you. Done. Right? The story, the background, we shouldn't have done that, added more fire to the flame because Andrew Schultz comes in and says, yeah, I said it.
He said
yeah, I meant it. I watched it. He reacted to him watching the video and he even said, ha ha ha, that's not true. They watched the video. They took out some things. They left that in there. So now he's even poking holes in it because he's an asshole, right? Like in the American context, that's a white man who now is able to belittle two black men because of the position of power he's in. That's unfortunate for me.
Right.
And putting themselves in that position is unfortunate too, but how are they going to help that situation?
Right. Because
you know what I mean?
True is they found it funny.
Yes.
They did.
They did. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, like, don't pretend, right? Like, I'm a dark-skinned black woman. I know. I get the joke all the time. Oh, you're aggressive. You're too much trouble. Oh, you're going to stress me out. We're not soft in society, even though we are. Like, me sitting here right now, unless I do, oh my gosh, you guys. And even then.
We made the joke this morning.
Yeah.
Right? About how, like, when a black woman, like, when you like someone.
Yeah.
You're kind of like,
aggressive. Like, we're aggressive. We're hard. We're this. We're that. We're stressors. Right? But if you're like light skin or you're white, you're so sweet and you're so dainty and you're so adorable and like, oh, I want to take care of you. We don't get the same treatment simply because of how dark our skin is. It feels like the darker your skin, the more of you think about it from like even a protest perspective, right? When the black girl is in front, like, oh yeah, that's our queen. Yeah, you go. Yeah, black power. She's going to be in charge. If you see a light-skinned woman leading a protest, oh girl, you sure you want her to go? Like even within that context, right? Like we're seen as the powerhouses. So when they're laughing, that's exactly why they're laughing. Because they think that. They really do. Now, my issue with the apologies, just say it. Own it, apologize, and show how you be better. Because it's not a lie, right? A lot of black men think that. They do. It's been in society for so long. We see dark-skinned men date white girls or mid-skinned women when they get successful. We see them do that now. We see them when they talk about even wanting bunda, right? They're not thinking of bunda with a dark-skinned woman. They're not. They probably want some BBL baddie who's definitely not dark-skinned. That's typically how society sees that. So I think my frustration again is just, I wish they just owned it and just said it straight up, because I know they're good guys. You know, well, I don't know them personally, but I'm always, it doesn't matter, right? Because the idea is like, I'm going to always give someone the benefit of the doubt. Like, you fucked up, it's okay. Like, apologize for it and let's move on from it. Because I'm going to fuck up on this podcast so many times. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to generalize. I'm going to laugh when I shouldn't. I'm going to be uncomfortable. Human nature is that. Anyone who says otherwise, like people, that's why I get frustrated with the comment section, because people act high and mighty when they're not, right? People make mistakes. They made a mistake in this situation. They laugh when they shouldn't have. It's a teachable moment, right? When did we stop giving people teachable moments? And I always appreciate when people respond to those things like, honestly, I hate it when I see think pieces where they're like, yeah, F them, I'm not supporting them anymore, da 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 da. Why does our community do that? Reading into cancel culture, like, they messed up. That should not be the end of the world for them. They don't deserve to be destroyed for all their work because of that mistake. In fact, nobody should have that power or feel like they need that power to destroy other people because of one mistake. If anything, bring back teachable moments. Y'all fucked up.
Like, use the apology and like tell them. Don't say the apology is not like.
Yeah, I that's my biggest thing with cancel culture, especially because Brooke Schofield, love her. Don't actually, I take that. I need to stop saying love her or love him or love
I
them.
think maybe flipping the word, but I understand what you mean.
Well, you know what I mean?
Love.
But I'm like, I don't want to, I say love because I love a lot of you. I'm just like, I love them. But Brooke Schofield is an example of getting canceled 3 weeks later and going back to the podcast like nothing happened. And you know what's crazy? People go and support. White girls, right back. They don't care. It's gone. Our community does this all the time. This is my take. When this is a clip, do Sophie's take on pop culture, cancel culture. Because that's really what I hate. I hate about cancel culture is we don't let people make mistakes within our community, right? That's where the shame factor comes in. It's like, we built you up, so we're going to take you down, right? And I hate that. Because what then happens is it's a cycle of people coming up, going down, Look at Keith Lee. The moment Keith Lee was rising too fast there's think pieces now about how he needs to hire a culture person. He needs to start doing a PR team. That's just a man who likes eating chicken. That's it. Let Keith Lee eat chicken from now. He doesn't need a show. Doesn't need anything big. He just wants to eat chicken. That's fine. Let him do that. Let him go to different states and enjoy. Let him live. For me, like, that is what gets frustrating. With them, they messed up. It's a teachable moment. Let's hope to do better. And then the conversation, I know for a fact the conversation is going to come back to me and say, well, that's not our job to forgive and forget. That's so true. You have every right, if you're listening to this, to also be like, I don't want to. That's okay. But you don't have to be vocal enough to where you're trying to take them down actively. There's a difference between being passive and being actively trying to do something. Like for me, for example, oh, I didn't like how this person did. I'm not going to entertain it anymore. Versus, oh, I'm going to make sure I do 10 videos and tell 50 friends to never support these people again. And they need to be broken down into pieces and suffer.
And people take it to the extreme.
Extreme.
Some people would go to their address, death threats. Like,
and I think for me, like, of course, it's such a broad way to like generalize it, but I think that's so unfortunate, especially within our culture.
Right.
Because I understand there's grace in everything. And maybe I'm just Miss Grace. You know, I'm Miss Grace. I'm the one who's going to be the one who's like, oh, I think this person didn't mean it, da, da, da. I will always give someone grace. Let them throw me off a roof. I'm going to give you grace, right? Because I don't think I should ever have the power to influence someone's life in that way. Because again, mental health is such a real thing. Like, you never know. If anything happens to those men, oh, we're so sorry. Oh, we didn't mean this. And then what? Right? And I hate that we try so hard to break people down. Like, I think of Nella Rose when she was getting big and too successful, trying to bring her down too. Yeah. I think of like all the Black creators who do so well. Fanita. Oh my God, Fanita. Right? When we talk about people's responses to that girl, Fanita is what, 23, maybe 25? She's figuring life out. She is going to stumble. She is going to fall. She's going to try. She's going to fail. The idea behind being folks who are in the same discourse as her is to hopefully be that person who's also going to support. Why don't we cheer people on more? Why don't we decide, instead of being a group of people who want to tear these people down, we should bring them up, even if they don't listen, right? Every time I see a Fanita video and I think, girl, that's a wild ass take. That's it. I'm not going to post 50 think pieces about it. I'm going to hopefully think she thinks better about it. She moves on from it. And if she doesn't, that's okay. I don't need to bring her down. Someone is her audience. Let her live. Let her make her money. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't affect me in any way. So that's my take.
This should be grace for redemption.
Yes.
This should be like a
We need more redemption arcs, redemption arcs, whatever that word is, especially within our community. I
And they're
really
the
think
best
that.
stories, right? Because they help,
I think that's why I share my process. I wonder if 10 episodes from now, I will come back and be like, I hate that I said that, right? And I want that to be okay too. Like, imagine if I had an idea, a hot take or odd take, and I say it, and then 2 episodes from now, I'm like, oh yeah, I was wrong. Please give me the grace to be wrong.
Right.
Please. Like, I am literally, if you're listening to this and you're watching this, I am begging you, give me the grace to be wrong. I am human. We are all human. Any influencer you see, we don't know what we're doing. There's this idea of we all have publicists and media people and people taking notes and that. We're literally just humans who had the audacity to post our lives online and our thoughts online. The fact that I'm doing this podcast right now means that I'm going to get so many opinions from you guys about who I am as a person, what my ideals are, what my goals are. And I inadvertently am giving you the power to either make me or break me, except you don't have that power. Nobody should ever have that power over another human being because I'm going to still be strong, right? And the goal for the community is rather than thinking of how you can make and break someone, why not just make and teach? Why don't we do that instead? Let's make and teach. If they stumble, if they fall, hey, Sophie, if you're watching this, here's what I think you should have done. I'm going to take that and run with it, right? If Anita does a video and then we react to this on this channel, the whole point is like, oh, hey, Anita, I really think she should have done this instead. Never breaking her down because I want her to be successful. I want ShxtsnGigs to be successful, right? That's the general goal. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to like this one right here.